porzucone meble, bezużyteczne lub po prostu niechciane. Ciągły cykl wymiany niemodnych wzorów w godzinie triumfu szwedzkiego designu. Krzesła, szafy i stojaki na kapelusze to prawdziwie miejski las, wyrastający na asfalcie, pnący się wokół lamp i murów, opanowujący ulice. To jest mój las, moja przestrzeń, którą przemierzam z przyjemnością, zawsze w nadziei łupów, jakie przyniesie polowanie. Tu wyszukuję najlepsze okazy, zbieram drewno, jak zrywa się owoce z drzewa. Potem w moim warsztacie, moim sanktuarium, moim laboratorium zaczynam wolny czasem i bolesny, ale zawsze intuicyjny proces ich przemiany, szukając elegancji i poezji zaklętej w drewnie. Marc Sparfel. Podróże, poznawanie ciekawych ludzi, inspirowanie się i dzielenie się inspiracjami. Lubię każdą z tych rzeczy, ale najbardziej wówczas, kiedy mogą się ze sobą łączyć tak, jak udało się to w przypadku ostatniej wyprawy do Barcelony. Jak być może wiecie z poprzednich filmów, wyznaję zasadę, że marzenia się nie spełniają, tylko się je spełnia. Ta podróż i to spotkanie są kolejnym takim właśnie spełnionym marzeniem. Poznajcie Marca Sparfela. Niezwykłego artystę, którego sztukę podziwiam od lat i którego zawsze chciałem spotkać osobiście. Marc, bardzo dziękujemy Ci przede wszystkim za to, że wpuściłeś nas do swojego świata. Czujemy się wyróżnieni. Chciałem Cię spytać o kilka rzeczy, a zacznę od tego, że zadam Ci pytanie, czy pamiętasz może, że około 5 lat temu skontaktowałem się z Tobą po to, żeby drogą mailową poprosić Cię o zgodę na zaprezentowanie Twoich prac w moim mieście.
I'm also very happy to have you here. It's always a pleasure for me to know that people get interested in my work and have curiosity, so it's a pleasure for me. And of course I remember perfectly when you wrote me this mail and when you asked me this permission to use my pictures. I remember that you were the Polish guy, because a long time ago I went twice to Poland, so I was not able to forget it.
Marc, Twoja sylwetka, Twoja twórczość w Polsce nie jest jakoś szeroko znana. Czy zechciałbyś opowiedzieć polskim widzom o tym, jak zaczynałeś swoją twórczość, jaka była Twoja ścieżka kariery, od czego zaczynałeś?
It has been quite a long path to arrive to sculpture. It was not when I was younger, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So finally I studied business and then I started to work in a theater, in a puppet theater, because I had to do my military service. It was a way to do it. And this was the best thing I made in my life, because I really connected with this artistic words that I was feeling an attraction with, but it was very abstract, everything. So I started to work in the theater like as a technician, and I understood that I wanted to go more to the artistic way. And but it was, I learned a lot in this place, and actually I think that I started to learn all the technique to use wood in this theater, because we were creating the decoration for the puppet show. So this is, I think, my first times that I used this kind of machine to work wood. And then I thought I was okay to work in the theater world, but I was afraid to think that I should go to an art school. So I finally, at 23, I think, I entered an art school. And I don't know if it was too late or simply I didn't like the art school, but I quit it. I always was doing stuff with my hands, like furnitures, cardboard furnitures, and a lot of small animals, and with everything, all the kind of stuff I could find everywhere. But I was not making sculpture in my mind. It was just making small objects or furniture or lamps or this kind of stuff. I always used reclaimed material, and it was very natural for me. It was not a politic act or an activist act. It was just that the material I find, I use it, that's it. And when I arrived in Barcelona, I saw this enormous quantity of furnitures in the streets, and I knew that I had to do something with that. So I started to do figures, statues, I don't know how to say that. Then they proposed me to show them, to make an exhibition. And maybe in that moment I started to think that I was making sculpture. But I never dreamed being a sculptor. It was, I first made it, and then I realized that maybe it's sculpture. And people started to name it sculptor. So from a day to another, I became a sculptor, but it was without my wish. The place I'm come from, art is not very present, you know. I had the books of my father about his patience with antique Greece, antique Egypt, prehistory. So my house was full of books, and okay, I retain a lot of images from these books, but apart of that, there was not a lot of art in my life. I never went to a museum when I was a young boy, so it was absolutely abstract. We loved in my family to draw and to make a lot of stuff, and my mother was always inviting us to be handy and to do stuff, but this was no link with art. So when you are coming from the countryside, being an artist is not, it doesn't exist, okay? So this is the reason why I think I needed like maybe 20 years or 30 years to arrive and feel finally that I'm an artist, you know. It was not a decision of mine.
Chyba od zawsze tworzysz struktury, które kształtem przypominają zwierzęta, maski, jakieś postacie. Czy możesz powiedzieć, skąd te inspiracje i co w zasadzie w ogóle Cię inspiruje?
At the beginning, as I told you, I was not aware that I was making sculpture. I was making figures, objects. And when I started to work with furniture, the furniture forms, shapes that I obtained from disassembling the chairs and all kind of furniture. These shapes remain me and took me directly to this kind of figures of mask. I think I started making mask. Of course, this work of mask is very inspired by the African art and also oceanic art. I discovered African art because it's kind of everywhere. And then the oceanic mask, it was really because I started to look for information and more visual information, pictures, etc., etc. And so I think that the beginning, yes, the first inspiration was from African art, and suddenly it was like mixed with also the parts of my when I was child, and the countryside. And I always, my best souvenir from my childhood, my best souvenir was when I went to my aunt and cousin's place, and they were living in the farm, and we go to outside to take the cow to go to the farm, to go back to the farm. And I really have strong souvenir being inside this atmosphere and having this enormous animal just just very near me, and it was a strong feeling. And I think that this is the thing that makes me started making bulls, for example.
Okay.
And not because I was starting living in
Barcelona.
In Spain. No, not at all.
Marc, żyjesz w mieście twórców. Twoimi niedalekimi sąsiadami są choćby Pablo Picasso, którego muzeum jest niedaleko, nieopodal są budynki zaprojektowane przez Antonio Gaudiego. Czy oni również są źródłem inspiracji do twojej twórczości?
I think I could say yes, because it would be more, you know, like not romantic, but yeah, the perfect pack. But I really don't think so. I mean, how I choose to come to Barcelona was, we wanted to go to Spain, and so we took the map, we opened the map, and we say Madrid, Barcelona. Barcelona, there is a sea, so we go to Barcelona, because I was born in front of the sea, and for me it's something like important. So when I arrived to Barcelona, I was not aware that it was the Gaudi place, a place where Picasso also lived, and this kind of stuff. So then, to think that they can inspire me, not really, because okay, these guys were living a part of their life here, or maybe for Gaudi all his life. But I'm not living in front of the Sagrada Familia, you know. So About Picasso, you can't see that much things in the street or in the city. I respect them, of course, and there is quite a lot more, like Tapies, Miro, Dali, okay, little bit, okay. But I don't feel that I have direct inspiration from these guys. It's much more maybe the aura of the city, the artistic city. But in fact, I would say that the contemporary artist today, I would like that Barcelona show more interest in the living artist and not just the dead one. This is what I would like to say about Barcelona. And I really feel that Barcelona is totally indifferent to the contemporary artist. And they are just living on the dead one. And this is a shame.
Na przestrzeni kilku ostatnich lat ja przynajmniej dostrzegłem taką zmianę stylu, w jakim wykonujesz swoje rzeźby. Czy możesz powiedzieć, z czego ta zmiana stylu wynika?
After a long series of mask and standing pieces, I wanted to work on other support, and I started with this idea of fossils. That the only way that the shapes I was using from this old furniture, the only way to have the souvenir of these shapes would be in my work. Of course, it's an exaggeration, but these ideas lead me to this concept of fossils. And then I started to work on this idea, and for making a fossil I needed a background. So I started to draw and to look for an idea to make this background with the animal. And this was also the way that the color entered in my work. And I started to make backgrounds with shapes of colors. And in one moment I felt that these animals on the background was not necessary, and I really wanted to play with the background because I have these new shapes and these new colors. And so at the end I let out the animals, take the background, and started to make a 3D work with these colors. And it was a very exciting moment because it was absolutely new and full of possibilities.
A nie przeszkadza Ci to, że ci, którzy obserwują Twoją sztukę, to w dalszym ciągu w tych nowych kreacjach widzą zwierzęta, bo ja dalej tam je rozpoznaję.
Absolutely, you're not the first to tell me that, and of course I don't mind. It's the contrary. I'm very happy that people can feel the work before, and I think it's very normal. It's natural that if I worked maybe 10 or 15 years making something, even if the change it's very radical, it's normal that you still have something of the work before. And I know that a lot of people saw in my abstract work like animal shadows or animals, and because they have legs or kind of, and it's perfect for me. I mean, it's my work. All is my work. So it makes me sense that you can see my old work in my new universe.
Powiedz, Mark, jeżeli to nie tajemnica, jak się żyje artyście w Barcelonie?
Living from your art it's always very complicated, and there is no rules, and you just you can't see no horizon. You just have to make it day by day. But at the same time, this is an exciting part of being an artist, that you never know nothing. So all is surprised. So it's nice also, you know. It's exciting. And for myself, I have the luck to be able to more or less live just with my artistic work. So I'm very happy. So it's fantastic to live in Barcelona, but it's hard to sell your work here. So you have to work abroad. This is the reality.
Czy gdzieś można obejrzeć Twoje prace w formie takiej stałej wystawy?
Permanent exhibition? No. I'm working with a few galleries, and from time to time I have show there, and the only permanent piece you can see is inside the collectionist house.
Mark, wspominałeś, że masz polskich znajomych, miałeś kiedyś dziewczynę z Polski, a czy znasz jakichś polskich artystów?
Okay, the truth is that I don't know a lot of Polish artists. I remember the work of Magdalena Abakanowicz that I really like. It's so powerful, and I have the chance to see a show here in the Marlborough in Barcelona, and Marlborough Gallery. But I don't know, another one I think.
Mark, czy Twoim zdaniem warto byłoby tworzyć sztukę, ale tak na własne potrzeby, nawet w sytuacji, w której ona nie przynosiłaby żadnych wymiernych, na przykład finansowych profitów?
Yes, of course, because all these people who create that Dubuffet put in this art brut, no, this concept of art brut, you know, which, yeah. So it's people that they really don't have this kind of question when they are working. They're just working because they need to do it. They need to draw, they need to paint, they need to carve. Quickly, it's really a necessity, you know. So a lot of people need to have another job, to be teacher in an art school, can be the classic way and maybe the best way, and then any kind of works. Myself, I work like 10 years in a restaurant as a cooker, and I didn't have no idea of how to cook, but it was really, I needed it.
To support.
And yeah, and it was okay. I really enjoy it. But so I think that everybody is starting like this, and then you just want your time to be with your work. And at least for me, I need this routine to go every day to the studio, every day, and I need to make. If I'm 2-3 days without making, it's something I'm missing something. It's just that you need it, but it's not enough. And it will be never the motto, the reason why you're doing art, for money, never. It doesn't make sense. I mean, I know that a lot of people, that the most famous guys, you feel that they really do it for money, like Jeff Koons, or for just one example, no? But it's nothing to do with reality of thousands and thousands of artists. They just go to the studio every day because they need that. That's it. Pozdrawiam widzów Robin Hooda.
Bardzo się cieszę, że mogłem Wam przedstawić sylwetkę Marka. Pierwsza jego praca, na jaką natknąłem się w internecie, do dziś służy mi podczas warsztatów, wystaw czy prelekcji jako wizualne uzupełnienie mojego stwierdzenia, że pojęcie odpadów zaczyna się dopiero tam, gdzie kończy się ludzka kreatywność. Trudno moim zdaniem o lepszy dowód na potęgę wyobraźni w wykorzystaniu odpadów. Do stworzenia tej niezwykle sugestywnej rzeźby Marc potrzebował raptem 4 kawałków starych mebli. Jeśli to nie jest geniusz, to co nim jest? Marc Sparfel i Piet Hein Eek, o którym filmy również możecie znaleźć na moim kanale, są dla mnie genialnymi upcyclerami, jeśli w ogóle istnieje takie słowo. Każdy z nich na inny sposób, bo są zupełnie różnymi ludźmi, ale też dość podobnie, bo mają bardzo zbliżoną filozofię podejścia do materiału, z którego tworzą. Świetnie jest poznawać takich ludzi i mieć szansę zaprezentować ich sylwetki również Wam. Napiszcie w komentarzu, czy dla Was również było to interesujące spotkanie. Jeżeli doceniacie to, co robimy i chcecie dać temu wyraz, a nam przy okazji realne wsparcie, to możecie postawić nam wirtualną kawę, korzystając z linku pod filmem. Zapraszam Was również do odwiedzenia mojego profilu na Patronite. Komentujcie koniecznie, co myślicie o tworzeniu co jakiś czas na nasz kanał filmów takich jak ten, prezentujących osobowość, wymagających odwiedzenia jakiegoś odległego zakątka. Zwłaszcza, że zaplanowaliśmy już kolejną podobną realizację. Również o twórcy z Barcelony, którego najprawdopodobniej znacie z jego bardzo charakterystycznych projektów. Ale o tym dopiero za jakiś czas. Tymczasem dobrego dnia.